We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV.
A very good afternoon to you. Welcome, and thank you very much for joining us on the news update on 24 News Radio and Television. My name is Olushola Oyewole. The existing government has warned host communities of any of its farm settlements in the state against killing or harassing its officials. The deputy governor, Okinlua Monisade Afuye, gave the warning in Adwekiti while mediating in a protracted land tussle between the Ekiti State Ministry of Agriculture and Olojudo in council. She regretted the recent killing of a staff of the Ministry of Agriculture who was a tractor operator at Ori Farm Settlement in Idosi local government area of the state. The deputy governor posited that whoever perpetrates such an act would face the consequences, saying the government will not allow its food production policy to be affected by landowners and desperate grabbers. She mandated the Surveyor General of the state, Surveyor Adebayo Faleto, to lead other experts to the scene and properly demarcate the boundary to avoid unnecessary encroachment. Mrs. Afuye urged Olojudo Oba Yorinde Ilori Faboro, who is the chairman of the State Council of Traditional Rulers, to appeal to the restive youth in Ido-Ekiti community to shun violence that could lead to killing on the farmlands. The special advisor on security to the governor, retired Brigadier General Ebenezer Ogundano, said the killing on the farm will be investigated and those responsible will be prosecuted. In his submission, the Olojudo of Ido-Ekiti, Oba Ilori Fabro, and a member of the family that shares the boundary with the settlement, Professor Israel Olatunde, regretted the death and promised that such would not repeat itself in the settlement. Oba Ilori Fabro added that his council would write a letter of undertaking on behalf of the family involved to assure the farmers that they are safe to operate in the farm settlement. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Professor Nentawe Ilwatda, has emerged as the new national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC. Yilwadda's appointment was confirmed on Thursday during the National Executive Committee NEC meeting of the APC. He will replace Abdullahi Ganduje, who resigned last month, citing health issues. The Deputy National Chairman North, Ali Bukar Dalori, assumed office in an acting capacity after Ganduje stepped down. Stakeholders had to ratify Dalori's role and give him a time frame within which to organize an effective national convention to choose a substantive chairman. And from Sokoto comes the report that the Sokoto state government has banned all forms of signing out celebrations by graduating secondary school students across the state. The Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Professor Ahmad Allah, announced a ban, citing rising incidents of student misconduct, vandalism, and public disturbances associated with such events. The directive affects both public and private schools. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukuma Soludo has appointed Joachim Acho from Abia State as the Accountant General of Anambra in his effort for inclusivity in the civil service. Similarly, Soludo recently appointed Adebayo Ojayinka, a native of Osun State, as the permanent secretary in a move the governor said further underscored his commitment to a diverse and competence-driven civil service. This appointment marks a departure from the long-standing tradition of reserving top government positions exclusively for state indigents. The House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream has launched a probe into the issues affecting the nation's downstream oil sector. Among other things, the committee is expected to probe the controversial turnaround maintenance of the country's refineries, the acquisition of OVH Energy, and the mounting concerns over market dominance by Dangote Refinery. Chairman of the committee, Ikenga Ugochinyere, made the announcement during a press conference in Abuja. He said it was disturbing after the hype that greeted the return of the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries to production status. They had to shut down again. In the meantime, the Yobe state government has dismissed reports claiming that Governor May Malabuni is planning to defect to the African Democratic Congress, ADC. the Director General of Press and Media Affairs to the governor, Maman Mohammed, made the revelation in an exclusive interview with the newsmen in Damaturu, the state capital. Mohammed said the report had been debunked earlier and should not be taken seriously. At least 13 people have died in government areas in Niger State. Also, 236 people have been hospitalized in the affected places. The state government, expressing worry over the development, opened an isolation center at the old wing of the late Senator Idris Ibrahim Kuta Primary Healthcare Center along Old Airport Road, Mina. The government also set up treatment and isolation centers in each of the affected local government areas to stop the spread. And now, foreign news. An Ethiopian official has denied Donald Trump's claim that the United States helped fund Ethiopia's new mega dam on the River Nile, saying it is false and destructive. Officially known as the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, the project is Africa's biggest hydroelectric plant and a major source of pride for Ethiopians. Over the 14 years it has taken to complete GERD, the Ethiopian authorities have repeatedly said that the dam was funded by the government along with contributions from the Ethiopian people. Last week, President Trump said the controversial dam was likely built with United States money. Ukraine's European allies marshaled resources this week to provide the besieged country with air defenses against drones and ballistic missiles. The European Union also announced an 18th round of sanctions designed to sever all remaining Russian energy imports and proposed a five-fold increase in the common defense budget to boost EU defense research and procurement. European leaders convinced the United States to symbolically rejoin the 52-nation Ukraine Defense Contact Group, coordinating defense donations, but not as a donor. Chinese President Xi Jinping has said Europe and China must make the correct strategic choices in the face of recent global challenges during a summit with top European Union officials, which comes at a particularly rocky time in their relationship. Xi's remarks followed a meeting with EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa, who are in Beijing for the 25th EU-China Summit. The EU and China are marking 50 years of diplomatic relations amid thorny disagreements ranging from the EU-China trade deficit to Beijing's ongoing support for Russia's war machine. Brazil says it will move to intervene in a case before the International Court of Justice, ICJ, alleging that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza as non-Western countries step up calls for greater pressure. The Brazilian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that it was in the final stages of submitting a formal intervention to the ICJ regarding the case originally brought by South Africa. Brazil's planned intervention in the case, earlier reported by the Brazilian paper, comes as Israel abuses in Gaza, including harsh restrictions on aid that have brought the Gaza Strip to the brink of mass famine, are under growing scrutiny. And now, sports news. The Super Falcons have arrived at Rabat ahead of their 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations final clash with hosts Atlas Lionesses of Morocco. Justin Madugu's side will hold their first training session in Rabat at the FUS Academy later this evening. The first 15 minutes of the training will be open to the media. The 9-time champions will hold a closed-door session at the same venue tomorrow. Nigeria will face Morocco in the final of WAFCON 2024 at the Olympic Stadium, Rabat. They defeated Bayana of South Africa 2-1 in the semi-final on Tuesday. Morocco beat Black Queens of Ghana 4-2 on penalties to reach the final. And with that sports news, we've now come to the end of the news update today. Thank you for joining us, and do stay with us as we shall still be coming your way with our broadcast of programs for the day. Happy viewing and happy listening too. Good afternoon.
From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin, all across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV. From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto